Super Mario Bros. Wonder was a great shakeup to an ever-stalifying video game series. It was a fountain amidst a desert, a beacon of light amongst darkness. But there is one big problem with the game I faced when I first played through it, and that is that the game is just not that hard. It's incredibly easy to fly through the levels of the game, and even harder to get a game over. But what if we want to fix that? I came up with one of the hardest challenges that Super Mario Bros. Wonder has ever seen. This is an adventure of joy and distraught, a journey of ups and downs, and the most difficult Mario challenge I've ever played. So get your popcorn, get comfy, and let's jump right into the explanation. So here are the rules for this challenge. No running. I cannot hold down the Y button to run. This means we'll be inching our way through the game at an almost unbearably slow pace. One thing is that we are allowed to carry pots and other objects and pull on pull handles, as long as we don't deliberately use them for their speed increase, because they do use the same button as running. No power-ups. We cannot collect or touch any of these disgusting objects in the game known as power-ups. If we are not small at any given time and we have not collected a power-up, then we shall take damage to the first enemy in the level and walk back to the start of the level if possible. Mario only. Really the only point of this rule is to prevent us from playing as an easy mode character like Yoshi or Nabbit. So if you want to do this challenge for yourself, fine, I'll let you use Luigi. No damaging enemies. We can't damage an enemy in any way that gives us credit for it. For example, stomping on this enemy here gives us a pop-up that says, good, and this is strictly forbidden by this rule. We are allowed to stun enemies if it doesn't give us the pop-up. One sanction to this rule is that we are allowed to damage bosses, and the reason we have this here is because, well, the game would be impossible right at the first boss fight otherwise, and that's not a skill limitation, that's just a stupid limitation. No checkpoints. You see these flags that respawn you at them whenever Mario dies? Well, we aren't even allowed to touch them. Get those awful flags out of here. Offline single player only. We must play by ourselves in single player, and we cannot join an online server to receive help from others. The thing with online mode is that it would kind of let you skip most of the game, because when you die you become a ghost and can fly towards the nearest standee or player and come back to life, letting you bypass most problems without doing anything. No major glitches. We can't use any major glitches that would alter the route of the game, because that's lame. So that 1.0 glitch where you can skip half the game, well, yeah, that's by all means prohibited. No twirling or spinning. We can never press that ZR button during gameplay. Pressing that ZR button during gameplay makes Mario do a spin jump or makes him twirl in the air for a little bit of extra distance, and for our challenge that is strictly forbidden. No shops. These capitalistic businesses scattered all throughout the Flower Kingdom are, for our case, completely illegal. Think about it, they're selling mushrooms that make Mario come back to life, or seeds of a flower that make Mario go mentally crazy whenever he consumes it. Now, I guess in Canada, where I live, that is actually legal, but the Flower Kingdom is no Canada. It's much more bright and happy than Canada. If we support any of these corporate, money-hungry enterprises, we might as well be in jail. The last rule is a restrictive one. No badges. We must not equip any of the new awesome badges that Nintendo added to Super Mario Bros. Wonder. Although this makes the game definitely a bit less fun, it makes it way harder, so we must do this to make our challenge actually difficult. Now, for badge challenges, we are allowed to play them as long as the badge does not take any effect during gameplay. Or, in other words, we cannot use the effect of the badge. Now, if we break any of these rules in any instance, we must open the menu and press the Restart Course button. This button resets any progress we gained in the level, and we can continue attempts from there. I have to say, I'm a big fan of this button. Nintendo, please add this button to all your future games. So, there's the challenge, all laid out in front of you. Do you think that we will be able to complete this challenge without any hiccups? Can we beat Super Mario Bros. Wonder while not running, without power-ups, while playing as Mario, without damaging enemies, whilst not using checkpoints in offline mode, without exploiting major glitches, without twirling or spinning, while not purchasing from the shops, without using badges? Let's find out, shall we? Our walkthrough starts very simply with our favorite plumber walking through the intro stage. And yes, we are Big Mario here, but don't the rules say that we can't be powered up? Well, yes, but see, that's why I made the rule that if we are at any point powered up without us collecting a power-up, we may take damage to the first enemy and walk back to the start, if possible. Since it isn't possible to take damage in this intro cutscene stage, then it is permissible to be Big Mario here, because, well, there is simply nothing we can do here to become Small Mario. So, if you consider this against the rules, well, then thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next— let's move on from that tangent. The normal silly shenanigans go on. A talking, very squishable looking, royal insect gives a speech and gets interrupted by an evil turtle in a flying helicopter cart who consumes a special floating flower and turns into a moving castle which traps the people in their own houses. Obviously. Now it's Mario's job to stop Bowser's plans, and this is where his journey of endless pain, misery, and accidentally jumping on enemies begins. Now, I've created this little overview chart to track any of our failures, and I call it the hardest Super Mario Bros. Wonder Challenge Overview Chart of Overviewness. So, let's get this going in World 1, Pipe-Rock Plateau. The first level is where we take damage and walk back to the start, and now we're finally Small Mario. The first level is, as all first levels are, very easy. We slowly walk our way through, occasionally hopping over Goombas, soon collecting the Wonder Seed and touching the flagpole. The next level has something of note. You see, there's these cute dancing, vicious plants that want to eat your face off. No, the real point of interest is that there's a secret exit in this level, which rewards us with a Wonder Seed, and Wonder Seeds are important in this game. They're what allow you to unlock mandatory levels to beat the game, so we will want to get as many as we can until we can unlock the final level in any given world. So why do I bring this up? Because the secret exit in this level is unreachable. It's all the way up here, and our puny hops won't make it up there, even with the help of these note blocks. We don't have to worry about Wonder Seeds for now, but it might become a problem in the future. The next level is very possible, just make sure not to murder any of the skedaddlers when you touch the Wonder Flower. Also, just for any of you unaware, touching the Wonder Flower in a level usually makes it more difficult or changes it up, but at the end you collect a Wonder Seed, so we'll generally want to touch the Wonder Flower in each level. Here's the first illegal shop we can't use. They make the items appear so desirable, but we can't purchase any of these delicious looking items, because that would be illegal. Bull Rush coming through. You know what else is coming through? Checkpoint traps. If you go up here, grab the 10 coin, and drop back down, the game spawns you right on an awful checkpoint flag, making us restart the level. And don't go up there again. So we can easily beat the Hippo level and the music level, no challenge there. The break time level after that is a big challenge, although it's not mandatory. But hey, let's give it a try. What we have to do here is hit this block and walk across the platform as fast as we can to reach the end, as the platform is on a timer, meaning we have to go fast. I tried for a while and it seemed barely impossible, until I got the perfect run and made it to the end and collected the Wonder Seed. Nice. I spent a while on the Roller Koopa Derby, but it was just because of stupid stuff, but it's very much possible. I also played this badge challenge, and remember, we are allowed to attempt badge challenge levels as long as we don't use the effect of the badge. So it's possible, it just requires a bit of practice, and this last jump is pretty dumb, but it can be done. Okay, so this next level was the level I dreaded when coming up with this challenge. I thought that this might be the level to end our run. It's a mandatory level, and a level that makes you run fast. The Wiggler race. I was worried because Wiggler is fast, and Mario is slow. So slow that Wiggler is off screen in the first 5 seconds of the race, and don't let those terrible, tall, terrifying trumpets of terror unexpectedly ambush you. So, is this racing level possible? Well, yes. You see, these conveyor belt things move Mario really fast, and with some slopes going in the right direction, combined with our beloved momentum preservation, we can beat Wiggler and humiliate that wiggly caterpillar. Seriously, we beat a guy who is apparently a runner, while not running ourselves. Can you imagine? Next up, this Bull Rush Express level is probably impossible, because we just can't make it through this corridor fast enough. But it's not mandatory, so we can pass by it just fine. We have more than enough Wonder Seeds to unlock the palace, so let's just beat it. Why are we getting extra Wonder Seeds anyways? A World 1 castle level is usually quite easy, and yep, we can mostly breeze through and make our way to the heir of the Koopa King himself, Bowser Jr. And to be quite honest, giving his booty a whooping is not much of a challenge here. So there we go, we can collect the glorious first Royal Seed and move on to the Petal Isles of World 1. The first thing of note is the Dolphin Kick badge level is completely impossible. There's no way to break these brick blocks without using the badge. So let's move on to the mandatory levels. Since we missed the Wonder Seed in the Dolphin Kick level, we have to collect the bonus Wonder Seed in the Leaping Smackerel level. And it's possible, just very tedious and requires patience. Just make sure to avoid this fish, whale, I'm not even sure what this is classified as. Robert Cove is another tedious level. It becomes super sluggish to play it because we can't use the Dolphin Kick badge, and after you collect the Wonder Seed, these evil money-grubbing flying rats try to trap you by flying right under your feet and killing themselves, so we have to make sure to avoid them. The last level is the Bluebird Roost, and again, it's not impossible. There's neither any big gaps impossible to cross, nor any ledge too high to scale. We just have to stay on our feet and be diligent, and we'll make it through. Until we accidentally jump on the bird right at the end of the level. But that's the last level we have to deal with in World 1, so let's move on to World 2. Fluff-Puff Peaks is one of my favorite worlds in Super Mario Bros. Wonder, and our first level here is the Poplin House. Outmaway Valley is a pretty easy level. The ice physics can be annoying at times, but with some love and care, this level is complete. We can also check off the Kick It Out My Way break time. Just make sure not to get crushed and avoid this disgusting firepower fireball flower and you'll quickly snag the Wonder Seed. Pokepede Pass is not too bad either. Definitely don't waltz under this owl like an idiot though, because it doesn't work out well in the end. There we go, that's much better. After collecting the Wonder Flower, we will have to pick up these POW blocks to throw at the snow to clear out of our way, but even though it requires you to press the run button, why? It is allowed according to the rules, because, well, does this look like running to you? Or rather, does it look like an Italian plumber tossing a big explosive block who's trying to clear a path in a giant snowbank? So, we're at Condarts away, and well, it's severely dumb, like not even fun dumb. It's not even that hard, it's just a headache. Firstly, you have to be quick, dodging those gross Condarts. It takes a small amount of practice, but you can get consistent. Then we have this cool jump we have to make to activate the Wonder Flower. Just, the Condarts are so annoying. If you don't want to die, then don't fly right under me. The Wonder Seed is definitely attainable, and then, this stupid section is bringing back the pain just looking at it. I died here so many times because of the unpredictability of this part. Like, how did that happen? You just have to be calculated and precise enough to sneak past those nasty Condarts, but we did it. We have another, most likely impossible level here, Pole Block Passage, and it's right at the start, straight up and brutal. You see, we need to hit this pole block here to extend out the pole to make it to the next area, but we can't do that because a Stoopa Koopa is standing right on top of it. So if we hit the block, he gets damaged and we have to restart. I tried to do a ground pound right on the edge to activate the pole block, but even with my best attempt, it still damaged the Koopa, because ground pounds seem to damage close by enemies when you land. Happily for us though, this is an optional level, so we can just skip this one. So this level is called Jump Jump Jump, but it should be called Run Run Run, because we are way too slow to make it. Like, we aren't even close, so let's move on. The Puffy Lift level is possible, but the Wonder Flower isn't, because we can't kill these Goombrats to make the Puffy Lift they're standing on go up, which is where the Wonder Flower is located. So we're already at the first battleship of the game, and again we can't get the Wonder Flower here because we need to damage these rocket enemies so that they destroy those blocks to activate it. Since there's no boss fight, it's actually surprisingly easy to beat, especially for an airship level. Countdown to drop down is tricky. This dumb Lakitu tosses his infinite amount of spiky children at us, and it killed me more than I'd like to admit, and it even gave me my first game over, which doesn't really do anything besides reset our progress in the level we just died at, and it gives us 5 lives back, plus it gives us a bonus level where we can get a couple more lives at, so it's not too bad. I decided to try the puzzling park level first, and it was pretty simple. Just search around, dodge a disgusting mushroom, and grab the Wonder Seed. Cruising with linking lifts is one of my favorite looking courses. How couldn't I love this aesthetic? We can get everything here, so that means we just need 2 more seeds. So, countdown to drop down. It's not really the countdown platforms or the assassin melon plants, it's the stinky Lakitu and his spiky children. He tosses away his spiky children in the most annoying spots. Speaking of which, how does Lakitu store all these spiky children? His cloud is only so big, so it looks like we'll never know. The Wonder Flower is impossible to activate by the looks of it. We need to kill Lakitu and take his cloud so that we can fly under this area and touch the flower, and as much as I wanted to do that, I had to resist the temptation. But after an agonizing adventure of angry acrid adolescence, we have one easy break time left. We just have to collect the 5 tokens. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Sorry about that. 5. Nope. 5. Okay, now we can collect the Wonder Seed. Now that we have swiftly and effectively collected the last Wonder Seed we needed, we can move on to the palace. And wow, that was closer than I thought. Second world in, and I think we don't have any extra Wonder Seeds that we can possibly collect. Now for the palace. You have to be patient and not absolutely dash forward, because the game will spawn a bone piranha plant right in front of you, and your favorite plumber will be no more. So the platforming part of the palace is a cakewalk, if we take it slowly. But the boss fight against Bowser Jr. poses a little bit of a challenge. The first 2 hits are easy. We have the normal ground and then the icy ground, both manageable. But then the Koopa King Air himself seemingly urinates all over the stage, which makes Mario jump even less than he already did. A fat Italian plumber stuck in sticky turtle urine makes for a small jump, which means it's a decent challenge to take down Bowser Jr. here. But with some carefully timed jumps, we can stomp the Koopa Prince and snag the Royal Steed, leading us right into the Petal Isles again. So we can't do the second Dolphin Kick badge level for obvious reasons, but what about the scary, mandatory Wiggler race? Well, this one takes place underwater for massive sections, so while avoiding those disgusting, good-for-nothing stars that the game tries to give us, we can scuba dive our way through and once again beat the Wiggler at his own game while not even playing it properly. The hardest part about Downpour Uproar is the Wonder Flower. Once we activate it, a huge lightning storm appears and we have to flap our way through this dangerous tempest. It's actually a challenge to avoid all the power-ups, enemies, and lightning in this part, and if we fail, we have to restart the whole level and play it again. Yet, with dedication and Flappy Bird skills, we can make our way to the top and get out of the Petal Isles once again, where we encounter World 3. World 3 is the Shining Falls. The Shining Falls is where urinary, smelly fish launch themselves under you to get killed, where dumb hoppycats hop at the right time to assassinate you, and where our biggest fear lies. It's a world where no plumber should have ever set his foot on. So the first level is not too bad. Don't jump at the wrong time and proceed to get snuck by one of those nasty hoppycats, and you'll be able to collect both Wonder Seeds from the level. The next 2 levels just require Mario to jump around like a mad plumber, and to be fair, he has been consuming a lot of special plants, so let's cut him some slack. Both of these levels are doable, so that's 2 more Wonder Seeds. The Anglefish Trial. This is, wow, what a level. So firstly, we have these stinky, smelly, stupid fish that reside in what seems to be... Is that urine? What is with this game and yellow substances that resemble pee? I don't see the logic behind the design choices, Nintendo. So we have to make our way through the level dodging these dumb fish that send themselves in an arc right towards Mario, and it almost seems like they want us to jump on them, trying to escape from their urinary purgatory via means of, well, I can't say the word on YouTube, so let's just say, purposely jumping under an Italian man to stop living. Secondly, we just need to be patient, calm, collected, and most importantly, don't go for the Wonder Flower. It's tempting, it's right there, but we must avoid this impossible flower if we want to proceed, because the wrong urinary fish might send itself right under our feet and make us restart the level. So after a long while of carefulness and precision, we beat this smelly level. The Wonder Tokens level right after it has us collecting the 5 tokens as quickly as we can while trying not to inhale on accident, if you know what I mean. But we can do it. So, here we have this innocent looking level right here. It's a mandatory level, so we must be able to beat it to move on. And well, it baffles me why Nintendo would design such a stupid level and add it to their game. This badge challenge level is terrible, good for nothing, awful, dreadful, horrifying, atrocious, and most importantly, bad. This level is the type of level to end our dreams of being a slow, short, and handicapped plumber. This level is the type of level to feature our biggest fear, our largest enemy when it comes to this run. Mushrooms. No, I don't mean those disgusting mushrooms that make Mario bigger. I'm talking about these ugly, terrifying, tall mushrooms right here. Let's simply put it. It is impossible to jump over this horrific mushroom creature, known as a trumpet, without using the badge. With this rule set, we can't scale the heights that we need to. And there's not just one in this level, but 5 of them. This level contains the most atrocious creatures to ever walk on the face of the earth. This level contains the highest cliff the Flower Kingdom has ever seen. This level breaks our dreams of being an overly handicapped plumber. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, plumbers and princesses alike, it's happened. We've found a level that we cannot beat with this rule set. We've failed. We've been stricken down. We've hit rock bottom. We cannot pass unless we use a badge here, and we must use this disgusting, shameful badge of shame 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times at a minimum. These 5 terrible, tall, terrifying trumpets of terror stop us from reaching our dreams and put to a halt our adventure. So there I was cowering there trying to escape my towering fate, waiting to get crushed by the terrible, tall, terrifying trumpet of terror, and as I sat there, I realized that though this level may be impossible, while we have such a handicap on ourselves, we are not going to let this idiotic level of failure dictate our happiness. We won't let it control us. Sure, We failed, but we haven't truly, totally failed until we have given up. And giving up is what these terrible, tall, terrifying trumpets of terror want us to do. Giving up is what the game wants us to do. And giving up is what this level was designed to make us want to do. But if giving up is what they wanted from us, giving up is not what they will get. Giving up is the last thing we will do. And so, we press on. We continue to struggle. We never let up. So, is it possible to beat Super Mario Bros. Wonder while not running, without power-ups, while playing as Mario, without damaging enemies, whilst not using checkpoints, in offline mode, without exploiting major glitches, without twirling or spinning, while not purchasing from the shops, without using badges? Sadly, no, but we can still see how far we can go, and how far before the game becomes utterly impossible. Now, it is possible to beat this level while following all the rules besides the no badges rule, and such it is. We devastatingly used the badge 6 times to make it through the level and to touch the flagpole of shame. After this level, my spirit was broken, but at the same time, more dedicated than ever to fulfill my dreams of beating Super Mario Bros. Wonder in the most handicapped way I've ever played a Mario game. The Midway Trial. We can't get the Wonder Seed because this checkpoint prevents us from hitting this block to kill the magic copycat, but the rest is trivial. The Sharp Trial. We can't use the copycat that's inside our platform to kill any of these disgusting trumpets because it credits us with the kill, even though I had the deep desire to see their smelly selves fall over like tall idiots. If we strategically dodge all the enemies that try to catch a ride on our platform, we can make it to the end. The Final Trial. If we take the Wonder Flower route, it becomes incredibly easy and simple, and now we've collected the 3rd World Seed because, well, Nintendo seemingly rushed some parts and decided we don't need a boss fight in World 3. We've unlocked the rest of the Petal Isles, and it's by no means impossible to hop through any of the mandatory stages, and to collect enough Wonder Seeds. The Jewel Block Cave, the Airship, Mama Mouthful, and the Muncher Fields are all not much of a challenge to walk through. Later in the run, I did spend like 2 hours attempting the Spelunking Wiggler race, and well, I'm quite sure that it's impossible, as they put this long section with no slopes in the direction that we need to go, but it's not mandatory anyways, so we can move on to World 4. The Sunbaked Desert is up next, and we can definitely feel a little bit of a difficulty increase since the first 3 worlds. And our first level, not including the Poplin House that I always skip over, is Armad's on the Roll. The sand in this level has us jumping even lower than our already low leap, and the level gets us to zip by, over, and under Pokies. But thankfully, Nintendo learned from their mistake and didn't make it impossible to get past these tall enemies. And so, we go. Until this armadillo spawns right under me and makes me damage him. The Wonder Flower has a pretty fun effect, which is making us not look slow anymore. But rest assured, we are still slow because the enemies also become faster. But after we reach the end, we arrive at the treasure vault, which requires us to have a drill power-up to slip through this crack in the wall, but we can't be using filthy power-ups now, can we? So that brings us to the Desert Mystery, and at first it seems like a mystery. How can we get over this disgracefully lofty mummy? As it turns out, 2 pots is not enough to give us the height, but what is enough is to grab the mummy's handle and unravel it until he becomes a more reasonable height. Our next problem is this group of gross Goombas slumbering right on our path forward, but if we pull this handle, a big platform raises them up and we can stroll right under them to then face the Condarts again. We just need to be extra careful and the mystery is solved, except I forgot the Wonder Seed here, so we'll come back later. Now we party our way through the Ninja Jump Party, making sure not to get snatched up by one of those vicious, bloodthirsty plants present, and we can dance our way through the whole stage, afterwards getting teased with a new badge in our pockets that we can't use. The Valley full of Snoodles is just stupid. These brainless bouncing baddies brainlessly bounce badly and keep causing us to reset, so we have to be deliberate and carefully take every step, every jump, because these foolish fiends keep launching Goombas right under my feet. The Wonder Flower makes Mario seem like an actual sloth, and we can't really take any measures to go faster because we always get punished, so we have to wait while the slow-moving, stupid Snoodles make their way past us. But after a while, we can beat this level and we can move on to the Color Switch Dungeon. And it's quite easy, since it's a puzzle-focused level, that means not a platforming level, and that means it's pretty easy to beat. Shadow Mario appears when we consume the Wonder Flower, but he follows Mario's movement, and well, if this is what our movement looks like, it's what Shadow Mario's movement looks like. So, we can collect everything and leave this place of red and blue in the dust. The lights out break time is no different with these restrictions, and the rolling ball hall, well, it trolled me. The level would be way cooler if the big ball moved faster, because like, it's fun to booty scoot through the tunnel while it chases you, it's just that you're not really at a risk of dying. Nevertheless, we made it through with both Wonder Seeds, moving on to the River Run break time, which is impossible. but that's what I expected from refusing to go faster than a snail who has a broken back. Secrets of Shove-A Mansion is simply not possible. We need to push this moving block close enough to the door to enter it, but this stinky Shove-A here prevents us from doing so, because his instincts are to push whenever he gets the chance to push, and so we push the menu button and leave the level. This is where I went back to the Desert Mystery and got the Wonder Seed. It's not too bad to do so, and so we only need one more Wonder Seed. And so, I was aimlessly wandering around the map looking for the final seed. But we've tried all the levels, and it seems like we've hit a brick wall. Until I realized I missed one of the break time levels, and it's very easy. Probably the easiest of the whole world. So, we have all the Wonder Seeds to unlock the palace. The palace here requires a dedicated level of patience. We wait for the thwomps, we wait for the rolling balls, and we wait for the spinning fireball bar of fiery hot balls of fire. But if we have to wait, then wait we will. The fight against Bowser Jr. is really easy because we have as much water as we need to swim all around and dodge all his attacks. I really wish Nintendo didn't cut corners when it came to the bosses because it would have been so cool. But regardless, we gave him a thorough roundhouse to the face and put the 4th Royal Seed deep inside our pockets, gloriously making our impaired way to World 5. The Fungi Mines start off with us needing to pay a man to fix a bridge for us, and this is clearly within the rule set, as the no shops rule prevents us from buying from those scamful shops that sell mysterious mushrooms and suspicious plants, but the rule doesn't prevent us from paying men to do work that we can't do. Mario is a plumber, not a construction worker. He can't fix a bridge. So let's get back to the game and start with up shroom and down shroom. We already see something similar happening. Mushrooms, and tall enemies you have to jump over. Thankfully this time it's not impossible to get over them. I tried to go fast through parts of the level, but trying to do that just loses more time, so we have to take it slowly until we can get the Wonder Flower, and it's not that much of a hassle. It only took me one death before I made it out of the level, moving on to Tailey's Toxic Pond. We can't get the extra Wonder Seed here because we need to kill 3 Taileys to activate the game show, where we have to kill more Taileys. So we skip on by, heading next to the Light Switch Mansion. Here are these blocks that when you hit them, turn on the lights so that you can see where these invisible blocks are. But the problem with hitting these blocks is glaringly obvious. It kills the booze. So after a debate with myself, I concluded that this is not allowed. So we must beat the level while carefully inching our way through. Besides the fact that we can barely see where we're going, we can beat this level with the Wonder Seed. So we cruise through Beware the Rifts, albeit without the bonus Wonder Seed, we tumble our way through the Tumble House break time, and we slip our way through the slime of the Wubba Ruins. The Grappling Vine badge stage is impossible for apparent reasons, and now we come across the Swaying Ruins. The first obstacle here are the tall mummies, but a little pulling can solve that problem. Next, we need to activate this swaying part to make this shoomp bring us into the door. We can grab the Wonder Flower and start sliding our way to the end, but you must fail one of the jumps and have to replay the whole level before you can move on. It's a necessary step. Beating the level unlocks this pipe that brings us underground right to the last actual level needed to finish World 5. For some reason, you only need 11 Wonder Seeds to unlock this stage compared to the usual 14 or 15, so let's see if we can conquer it. The Poison Runes start off with us having to jump in between these Koopas, and make sure not to get stepped on by these dangerous Paracoopas, but if you're ready, you can make your way down here and come on, this awful checkpoint trolled us! Ensure that you avoid this prank of a checkpoint, and when you activate the Rising Poison, make sure you dodge all these annoying critters that are scattered throughout all the level, especially these paratroopers. We can't jump on them, but jumping under them is a challenge as well because the poison is rising right behind us. Once we reach this part, we can transform into a Wubba and eventually advance all the way to the Wonder Seed, and then to the end of the level. Now we just quote-unquote rescue these dudes in the Rescue Operation level, and boom, they grant us with the Royal Seed for doing such a minor task. Nintendo definitely rushed this world quite a bit, but there we go, World 5 has been conquested by a disabled plumber, now to see if we can do likewise for World 6. The Deep Magma Bog is definitely the hardest world so far. Each level is a big threat, larger gaps, more dangerous enemies, and more disgusting power-ups that we can't eat. For example, the Item Park Search Party is straight up impossible, as it's based off using the power-ups to collect the Wonder Tokens, and that is utterly unallowed. To get it out of the way, there are 4 observatories that give us 1 Wonder Seed each for free, so let's ignore talking about those any longer and go to where the Roombas rule. And no, I'm not talking about those robots that can let you be lazy and have a clean room, I'm talking about these guys. So I spent about half an hour on this level just to find out that the Wonder Seed is impossible to get because there are too many enemies to dodge when we turn into Spike Ball Mario. We instantly kill any enemy we come in contact with, and there's just no way to evade all these enemies who are asking to be run over by a plumber who turned into a big spiky ball because he consumed a special flower. Rargs in the Ruins is a level where you have these blocks that become tangible whenever you look at them, and it means that we don't have many problems here. There is this one invisible block that can troll you, or this checkpoint that will make you think ground pounding down here is all fine until you reach it. But if we carefully trek through, dodging the Rargs along the way and making sure not to fall in the hot orange juice, we can make it to the end after a while. Pull, Turn, Burn has this really stupid part at the start. I failed here too many times to count. Actually, I can count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times. And it's all because of the unpredictability of these silly shells. Anyways, the only other part of interest here is the Wonder Flower. It's another one of those 5 Wonder Token collectathons, and 4 of the tokens are very easy. But the last one is ridiculously stupid. The Wonder Transformation turns Mario invulnerable, even to lava, but it also makes him instantly evaporate any enemy he touches. And see, the problem here is that there are piranha plants scattered all throughout this tight tunnel, so that Mario has to parkour through and get the last Wonder Token. So every time I failed, I had to replay the whole level to make it here. And finally, I had a perfect run and dodged all the piranha plants and collected the Wonder Seed. Now the next level is the airship. So these flying Mecha Koopas always fly towards Mario, and this caused multiple instances of failure. But eventually, after my first time ever dying in one of these sections in the airships, I finally made it and pressed the self-destruction button that every airship has. Hot hot hot? Hot hot hot? However you pronounce that, it's where these yummy looking creatures named Kerpops live. And they also love to bounce right under Mario's boots. Whatever the deal with hopping enemies is in this game, the Wonder effect makes everything much easier by turning the magma into obsidian. Or at least that's what my Minecraft brain sees. So with that stage cooled down, we ride into the wavy ride through the magma tube. Great name there, Nintendo. So for this one, we just have to learn these fire spike throwing patterns and not get hit even once while hitting the roulette block when it scrolls to the Wonder Flower, while jumping across platforms that go into lava periodically while making each and every jump, making sure to avoid stomping on any of those bad beetles that try to trap us. It's quite simple, actually. The next level is the Dragon Boneyard, and it has dragon bones in a yard, but also terrorist birds that drop deadly power-ups on us. We merely have to dodge every enemy that comes flying at us while we hop over the gap that appears in the rotating dragon corpse we're riding on. Grandpa Yosh makes an appearance and gives us a Wonder Seed, and it's surprisingly already time for the palace. So it's the last palace of the game, the last time we'll have to fight Bowser Jr., so it must be the most difficult level of all of World 6, right? Well, it's actually unexpectedly easy. It only took a few tries before I hopped past every enemy, tottered up every stair, and defeated every phase of our little enemy named Bowser Jr. And so it is, we move on to Bowser's World with still only that one level haunting us. Bowser's World at the start seems so simple and easy, but it soon departs from that into complete misery and pain and precision. So we begin with Missile Mag Mayhem, where we platform on these long purple artillery shots, and well, that's really all we do here, and just like that we're on to the high voltage gauntlet. Here we have to evade electricity, enemies, and apparently this awful checkpoint. These checkpoints, they always need to trap us, don't they? They always need to use these underhanded tactics to try and get us to touch them. And you know what? That shows their weakness. That shows that we can defeat them. And so we pass on by on the next attempt, and then, oh, there's another one, and we can't jump over it. Thankfully, that one's on a side path where the Wonder Seed is, and we don't need Wonder Seeds anymore, so we can joyfully skip it and make it to the end of the level. Evade the Seeker Bullet Bills has us, well, evading Seeker Bullet Bills, but especially evading their cheap tactics to get us to pick up power-ups. So frankly, this level is pretty easy, especially for a 4-star difficulty level. The hardest part is not accidentally stomping on one of the Seeker Bullet Bills, because it seems like what they're actually seeking is to be crushed by our favorite plumber. With taking caution and not running in like a moron, we can absolutely trounce this level, which brings us to Bowser's final line of defense before we can take him on ourselves. And wow, the Knucklefest is one of the most dreadful levels among the dreadful levels of dread. The Knucklefest is the kind of level that can crush your hopes, your dignity, and your joy. So firstly, we have some blazing knuckles we have to run under, and there's a section that seems to be too long to make it through before the knuckles come punching down on us. but if we time it precisely enough, we make it through. Next, there's a place with a checkpoint and 2 billet train blasters, so we have to do this platform section quickly enough to spawn in the first billet train, and then spawn in the second in a way so that they crash into each other and die. Right after that is this section that mocks us. It reminds us of our failure in World 3. There's a tall metal bamboo stack with some blocks next to them so that we can easily jump over them. It is not a physically difficult section, it is a mentally difficult section, placed there by Bowser in the hopes that we are haunted by our failure and thus give up, but we press on. Next, we have this really difficult part where we jump on this platform to make it move, and some billet trains try to stop us. So what we do is we ground pound the platform to push it forward a lot, then wait out these bullet bill blasters while dodging the billet trains, then we ground pound more and dodge this final billet train. Now we make it to this relatively easy knuckle dodging part, and through the pipe we go. We come across the last checkpoint here that tries to tempt us, but we ignore it. We say, "No sir, not today." And so, we collect this mandatory Wonder Flower and activate the Knuckle Fest, a party that Bowser threw because we failed, a festival to celebrate our defeat. The very first jump is already difficult, as we have to jump on the edge of this pipe, careful not to hit either of the metal enemies, because you better believe that's a restart. So we make our way past this bullet bill launcher and these punching fists, and oh no, what is this? 3 of those dumb, outrageous metal enemies in a row perfectly spaced apart so that we can't jump over them. So I tried and tried, but it's simply impossible to make it over those 3 enemies in one jump. They're just perfectly spaced apart where we can't make it over. Heck, even a twirl lets us make it over. That's how close it is. So I crouched there, cowering, afraid, weak, scared. A terrible realization came to me, a realization that we can't do it, that we've completely failed. We thought we could defeat Bowser and beat every stage without being heavily handicapped. We thought we were strong when we were weak, and traumatic memories of the crouching high jump badge challenge came back. Why are we even trying this challenge anyways? We've already failed. It's been proven that we're too disabled to beat Super Mario Bros. Wonder. We failed in World 3, and now we failed in World 7. It was first vertically where we failed, and now it's horizontal. And there I was listening to the crowd cheer and shout and celebrate over the fact that this simple array of enemies had stopped us dead in our tracks. And as I heard the discouraging howls of the crowd, I realized, wait a minute, those metal enemies look like they have a gap just big enough for an Italian plumber to fit in without hitting the enemies. So I tried and tried and tried, and it seemed impossible. For every failure I had to restart and play through a whole level just to attempt it again. And so I hit rock bottom, and I was about to give up. The crowd was cheering for our lamentation, the game was telling us give up, and everything that could stop us wanted to stop us, but we have not truly failed until we have given up. So I pulled myself up and tried the jump one last time, and everybody, look at this! Mario actually landed in between the 2 metal enemies right here, without damaging either of them. So this jump is close to pixel perfect, but it is possible. And so I bravely went forward and instantly died. But that doesn't matter. What matters is we proved that it is possible. So I spent over 5 hours on this part. I made it past that overly stupid jump a total of 16 times, and then this happened. I died. But on my 17th time, I evaded all the blazing fists trying to burn our hopes away. I hopped past the billet trains trying to get us to stomp on them. I made it past the fiery fist section of many fiery fists of fire, and I jumped up until the cage was broken, and I collected that glorious Wonder Seed. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, plumbers and princesses alike, that is how you do it. That is why you never give up. The jump seemed impossible. The level seemed unfeasible to beat, and the crowds cheered loudly for our demise, but they couldn't stop us. And now, Bowser is showing his signs of weakness. He's trembling because his best line of defense couldn't stop us. And so, the last level remains before our journey comes to a close, Bowser's Raid Stage. At first, the level looks impossible, but if we time it nearly perfectly, we can barely miss the big blazing fists. Bowser tries to break us. He throws random challenges at us, but he can't stop us, and now we've made it to his stage. He hypes up the crowd and gets them to cheer, but deep down, under his facade, he knows he's lost. He knows he can't stop us, and after memorizing his attack patterns, he becomes so weak, so vulnerable and afraid. And now we have one more hit and we win. And so I jumped, I platformed, I leaped right onto his head, and I delivered the final blow. There it is. Bowser finally put back in his spot, and Mario still handicapped. We never gave up, we never surrendered. At our darkest moments, we almost gave in, but we mustered up our courage and completed our journey. So, is it possible to beat Super Mario Bros. Wonder while not running, without power-ups, while playing as Mario, without damaging enemies, whilst not using checkpoints, in offline mode, without exploiting major glitches, without twirling or spinning, while not purchasing from the shops, without using badges? Unfortunately, no. We had that one level we couldn't beat, that one terrible, completely evil level. But every other stage, every other level, every world, every boss, and every jump, we overcame. So ladies and gentlemen, it is possible to beat Super Mario Bros. Wonder while not running, without power-ups, while playing as Mario, without damaging enemies, whilst not using checkpoints, in offline mode, without exploiting major glitches, without twirling or spinning, while not purchasing from the shops, without using badges in non-mandatory badge challenge levels. Even with that one hiccup in World 3, that one failure even, I consider this challenge a success. There it is, folks, my journey of trying to beat Super Mario Bros. Wonder in one of the most handicapped ways possible. We failed, we succeeded, and in the end I think it turned into a pretty great video. If you enjoyed this overly dramatic and silly adventure of a video, please consider liking and subscribing. It's how I know to make more videos like this one. And hey, if you own Super Mario Bros. Wonder, maybe go try this challenge for yourself. I found it pretty fun. If anyone can think of a way to avoid the tragedy in World 3 while following this rule set I created, please comment below because we almost had a perfect run. There's a video linked in the description of this video that contains all the raw footage of me beating every level while following this challenge, so you can go check it out and see the exact moves I did in each level that I played. So that's all I have to say. Thank you guys so much for watching, and God bless everyone.